What if we were to live as a completely unformulated question? That is, a question mark that has no conceptual or linguistic content and is just an openness, a not knowing about the nature of reality. How would we experience reality? First of all, we would have no knowledge of ourself being anything in particular. If we look at reality, which includes ourself, with a question mark, I don't know what this is. I don't know what I am. What would our experience be? Well, we would not be believing that we are separate, limited, personal entities. We would just be present, aware, real, and could we say anything else? Anything we would add would be reverting to a statement rather than living as a question. We would know something, seemingly. But if we live as a question mark, and all that is present in the moment is this feeling and thought of a question mark, of an unformulated, mysterious curiosity about the nature of reality. That is all that is present in our perception, including the landscape, the sensations, consciousness. But we would not know what any of these things are. We would not even be formulating this appearance, as a perception, as a sensation, as a mind, or as a distinct consciousness, a personal consciousness. We would be living as the innocence of not knowing. And this, in fact, is our sahaja samadhi, our natural state. We, reality, being, and I use these words synonymously, do not know what we are. We just know that we are. Any what refers to a limited concept or perception, but ourself is the only being that is present. There is only being. Being alone is all one, is infinite, unlimited. It is not a what. That is, it is not an object or concept or percept. It is unknowable in terms of the mind, in terms of thought. So, as a practice, if we live with this feeling tone or mantra of an open question mark without any formulated content, we are living as being, vibrating within itself as not knowing what it is. And that not knowing what it is absolute freedom. The moment that we being seem to know what we have limited what we are to an apparent thing, to a human body, to a physical universe, to a form of a creature, to a law of nature. Whereas in the reality of being, none of these concepts or things are intrinsically present. Limitations are not intrinsic to that which is unlimited. Finite qualities are not intrinsic to that which is infinite. So perhaps the closest thought to infinity is an unformulated question. And if we pose that unformulated question, just a pure question mark, to reality, to the reality of our being, we are asking the reality of our being. And the reality of our being responds with absolute silence. And we know that any formulation that the mind offers about our being having limited qualities, having a conceptual characteristic, is not true and fundamental of our being. So instead of focusing on trying to describe what we are, trying to know what the reality of being is in conceptual terms, we can, and we are already, resting as this reality of being, which is aware of itself. And we do not know what we are. As any kind of objective quality. We know that we are. We are aware that we are present. Awareness is aware of its presence. Being is aware of its presence. And that is all that it knows. That is all that it is aware of.